Hello everyone, we are from Group 2. In this video, we are going to explain materials about semantics. Before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is ARDIWAN HALAWA and my major is English Literature.
My name is MEYSI NATASYA SITEPU and my major is English Literature.
So, stay tuned!
First of all, let's study about systematic study of meaning. The systematic study of meaning is a branch of linguistics known as semantics. Semantics is concerned with the study of including how words, phrases, and sentences convey meaning, and how meaning is interpreted by speakers and listeners. The key concepts in the systematic study of meanings: first, lexical semantics. This focuses on the meaning of individual words, including their definitions, connotations, and relationship with other words. Second one is phrasal semantics. It examines how the meanings of words combine to create meaning at the phrase and sentence levels. The third one is pragmatics. This is the studies how meaning is influenced by context, speakers' intentions, and social factors. The fourth one is semantic roles. It analyzes the relationship between words in a sentence and the roles they play in conveying meaning. For example, subject, object, and agent. Now, let's take a look at the example. The cat is on the mat. In word-level analysis, cat refers to a small domesticated carnivorous mammal, while mat refers to a flat piece of material used as a floor covering. Well, right now let's talking about language in use. Language in use refers to the practical application of language in real-world communication settings. It focuses on how language is utilized by speakers and listeners in everyday interactions to convey meaning, exchange information, and achieve communicative goals. Language in use goes beyond the study of grammar and syntax to examine how language functions in context, taking into account the social, cultural, and situational factors that influence communication. Language in use includes, first, context, the situation or environment in which communication occurs, influencing meaning and interpretation. The second one is pragmatics. It is how language is used to achieve specific effects or goals, including the study of speech acts. For example, requests and promises. The third one is discourse. This is the structures and patterns of written or spoken communication, analyzing how language is organized and function in different contexts. And then the fourth one is sociolinguistics. It's examining how language varies and changes in different social groups, including factors like ethnicity, gender, and social class. The fifth one is register and style. It is the variation in language use based on context, formality, and audience, such as academic versus casual speech. Well, right now, let's study about the dimension of meaning. The dimension of meaning refers to the various aspects or elements that contribute to the significance or interpretation of a concept, idea, or communication. In the field of linguistics and semiotics, meaning is often analyzed across different dimensions to understand the complexity of language and communication. Well, right now, let's take a look at the example. For example, the old man and the sea. The first one is literal meaning. In literal meaning, the literal interpretation of the sentence is about an elderly man and the ocean. While in connotation, connotations associated with old man may include wisdom, experience, and the passage of time, while the sea connotes vastness, mystery, and power. And then another meaning is figurative meaning. In the figurative meaning of the sentence may suggest themes of resilience, struggle, and the cyclical nature of life. And then one is cultural implications. In literary context, this phrase may evoke references to Ernest Hemingway's novels, The Old Man and the Sea, known for its themes of courage and perseverance. While in emotional response, the phrase may evoke feelings of nostalgia, contemplation, admiration for the old man's characters, and awe for the sea's grandeur.
4. Semantic rules. Semantic rules, also known as the data rules or thematic rules, are linguistic concepts that define the relationship between the verb in a sentence and the participants involved. These rules help to identify the specific semantic function that nouns or noun phrases play in relation to the action or state described by the verb. Some common semantic rules. Number 1. Agent. The agent is the entity that performs the action expressed by the verb. It is typically a volitional or animate entity. For example, in the sentence, the dog chased the cat. The dog is the agent. Number 2. Patient. The patient is the entity that undergoes the action or is affected by it. Example, she ate the cake. The cake is the patient. Number 3. Team. The team is the entity that undergoes the action but does not change in state. In the sentence, he carried the bag. The bag is the team. Okay, next topic is number 4. Experiencer. The experiencer is the entity that perceives or experiences a certain state or emotion. It is typically the entity that has a mental or emotional reaction to the action. In the sentence, she loves music. She is the experiencer. Number 5. Goal. The goal is the entity towards which the action is directed or the destination of the action. It represents the endpoint of a movement or transfer. In the sentence, she sent the letter to him. Him is the goal. What is lexical relation? Lexical relation are connection and association between words based on their meanings and linguistic properties. They describe how words are related to each other within a language system, including synonyms, antonyms, hyponyms, hyperonyms, meronyms, holonyms, polysemy, and homonym. Some common lexical relation. Number 1. Synonym. Words that have similar meanings are considered synonyms. For example, happy and joyful are synonyms because they convey a similar idea. Number 2. Antonyms. Antonyms are words that have opposite meanings. For instance, hot is an antonym of cold. Number 3. Hyponym. In this relation, a hyponym is a more specific term that is subsumed under a broader term known as a hypernym. For example, rose is a hyponym of the hypernym flower. Number 4. Metonymy. Metonyms are parts of a whole, while holonyms refer to the whole itself. For instance, wheel is a meronym of car, and car is a holonym of wheel. Number 5. Polysemy. Polysemy occurs when a single word has multiple related meanings. For example, bank can refer to a financial institution or the side of a river.
Well, right now let's talking about translation and transfer predicate. First, let's talking about translation. In linguistics, a translation predicate refers to a linguistics construction that expresses the relationship between a source text and its translation. It is used to describe how the meaning of a sentence in one language corresponds to the meaning of its translation in another language. Let's see the example. For example, the English verb to eat can be translated into Spanish as comer. In this case, to eat and comer are translation the same meaning and can be used interchangeably in their respective languages. Now, let's see another example. The sentence I want to sleep can be translated into Spanish in a few different ways depending on the context. The first context is quiero dormir. This sentence is the most straightforward and commonly used translation. The second one is tengo ganas de dormir. This conveys a similar meaning, but emphasizes a desire or feeling of wanting to sleep. The third concept is Mi gustaría dormir. This translates that I would like to sleep, which is a more polite or soft expression. Even though the sentence is different, but it have the same meaning. Now let's talking about transfer predicate. In linguistics and translation studies, a transfer predicate is a concept used to describe the process of transferring linguistics elements or structures from one language to another during translation. Transfer predicates deal with how the truth value of predicates or expressions that assert something about a subject can be transferred or preserved across different contexts, languages, or scenarios. This concept ensures that logical relationship and meaning remain consistent. Let's see the example. For example, the English phrase "to have a good time" does not have a direct equivalent in some languages. In this case, the concept of enjoying oneself may be expressed using a different verb or phrase in the target language, leading to a direct. In linguistics, a transfer predicate involves a verb that denotes the transfer of an item from one person to another. For example, I gave him the book, or in Spanish, le di el libro. In this example, I is the subject, the one who performs the action, while gave is the transfer predicate, or the verb that indicates the act of transferring, while him is the indirect object, or the recipient of the action. Well, that's all our explanation about all the topics. Thank you for your attention.
So that's all about our explanation about the materials. And thank you for your attention and bye.
Bye.